I'm gonna let you read my hat. Now I'm gonna tell you about it. We are on our way to R&D Small Engine Supply. He's got a whole bunch of chainsaws laying out in the weather with good parts on them, and he said I can pick through them, and if I see some I want, he'd sell them to me for 10 bucks. So a sprocket is about 20 bucks. If I can find a chainsaw with a good sprocket on it and just pay 10 bucks for it, I'm going to do it. Well, anyway, the hat. It's a Million Mile Club hat, and how you get one of these is you buy a truck with a Caterpillar engine, although you can't do that anymore because Cat's not putting engines in diesel trucks anymore because the EPA, thanks EPA. But my wife and I, we bought a brand new Kenworth W900 studio sleeper with a 3406E Caterpillar engine. It was the last of the 3406Es before they came out with C15s. It was a factory 550, 13 speed. And we put 1,275,000 miles on that truck in 6 years. And if you do that without rebuilding the engine, it's a real accomplishment. And Caterpillar, if you let them know and they can document it, which I was, you know, if you've seen my shop, you know I'm just a wee bit OCD about some things. Neatness is one of them, and I'm meticulous about maintenance. So I had all my maintenance records. It was real easy to prove that I'd never rebuilt the engine. It was the original engine. So this hat and a jacket and plaques and certificates and attaboys is what they give you, and it's a Million Mile Club, and it's not a lot of people in it. So that's the story of the hat. And you know, I think I don't miss trucking, and when I get on the interstate I don't, but there is a few things that I miss about trucking, and being really good at my job, knowing my equipment, and knowing the laws, and knowing how to be safe around people that weren't safe, and backing in. I can honestly say, and I know it sounds like I'm bragging, and maybe I am, I don't care. I never met anybody that could back a truck into tighter spots better than me, and there was a lot of people that would say that too. It's just one of them little things that I was really good at, that I was proud I was good at. And backing an 18-wheeler in against a dock is a piece of cake, but you find a place like New York City or Boston or someplace that's not made for 53-footers, and you back it in with ease. It's just a really good feeling. Nobody else can do it. I've even had to back trucks in for people who had been drivers all their life that couldn't get them into a spot. And you know, I never made people feel bad about it. I always backed it in. And then actually one time we were at our terminal in Grapevine, Texas, and there's this guy. He was a new guy, and it was kind of a small terminal, and you really had to pick your places to park your truck and sleep, or else you'd be in the way. Well, there was one spot left, and it was sort of in the way, but if you weren't a newbie, you could back it in without having to wake people up and move them. So I had to take that spot because it was the last place available. And sure enough, we were sleeping, and this guy tried backing in. So instead of getting out and knocking on the door, say, hey, could you move out this spot so I can drop this trailer in there? You know, like any normal, polite person would do. Anybody who'd been there knew it was tight, and sometimes you just had to park, and if you were in the way, people would ask you to move, and you'd move, and when they got backed in, you'd pull back in and go back to bed. It was just one of them things. Well, anyway, he starts blowing his horn and you know, really mad. So I got out of the truck and I said, you know, man, all you gotta do is knock on the door. You don't have to get mad. It's real common. There's nowhere to park here that's safe. I mean, you can go off the company property and park, but you're not going to be safe. So that's why people park here, and they're packed in, and it's just one of them things you got to understand, that if people are in your way, don't get mad, just ask them to move, because you're going to have to find a place to park when you drop your trailer, and you're going to be in somebody else's way. So he gets madder instead of calming down. I said, look, man, Oh, he starts bad-mouthing the company. That's the thing. This damn company, I don't know, this is a stupid terminal, and it's on and on and on. And I said, man, I have never made more money in my life than I have with this company. This is the best company I've ever worked for. They've got the best terminals. They've got showers. They pay the most. Back then, we were making $1.40 a mile, which was unheard of back then. I don't know what they're paying now. But I said, look, I can pop that thing in there in about 2 seconds. And he said, you can't. If I can't, you can't. I said, I guarantee you I can back that thing in there straight. And I did. That pissed him off. Yeah, my wife was a witness, or I wouldn't be telling you this. Yeah, I don't tell stories that people ain't going to believe unless I have a witness, and my wife was a witness to, because she got out to make sure there wasn't going to be a fight. And yeah, I hopped up in his truck, aired his seat down a little bit, and backed it in about 20 seconds, straight as an arrow. So there you go. Have a nice day. And then I said, oh, by the way, if you can't make it at this company, you're a loser and you won't make it anywhere else. And he wasn't happy. And that's just another little trucking story. Let's see, do I have another one? Yep, I do. There was this time I knocked a guy out with one punch. My wife and I were driving separate trucks, and we were talking on the CB. And she had just had wisdom teeth pulled out. It was not a good experience. And we had to take 2 trucks, but it was just a short run. I think we went down to Baytown, Texas, and back up to Shreveport. And on the way back, this guy caught up to us, and he comes to the channel that my wife and I are talking on the CB. And he says, "You're bleeding over on channel 19. And I said, well, sorry about that. Both these radios are just stock radios. They're not no linears. They haven't been tuned up. They're just little cheap 3-watt radios. So I have no idea why we would be bleeding over on 19, but it's 3 o'clock in the morning and there's nobody else talking. So if you go back to 19 and continue the speed you were going, you'll be out of hearing range of us in just a matter of, a few minutes." So then the installs. "I didn't ask you what you thought I should do." And well, he started racial stuff. It was a black guy, and he starts calling me cracker, and then it got him worse. He started telling me what he was going to do to me after he beat my ass, and then what he was going to do to my wife. And this went on for about 30 miles, and I kept telling my wife, look, just go to channel, go to another channel. We'll just let this guy have this channel. Anyway, it never ended, and I have a limit. I'm actually a very calm person, and I don't fly off the handle, but he pressed all the correct buttons and pushed me over my line that is very hard to push me over. And I said, okay, mister, you want to pull over? Let's pull over. And we pulled over. He got out. I got out. I walked up to him. He walked up to me, and I knocked him out with the very first punch. Yep, and my wife was a witness, or else I wouldn't tell you. And we hopped back in the trucks and took off. Anyway, I'm going to be at R&D here for too long. Have a nice day. Well, that was easy. I bought a chainsaw for 10 bucks. It's a little Poland, look like I think it's a 2975. And it's got some good parts on it. It's even got a good bar. And who knows, I might be able to get it running. Not, small engine shops, they don't usually mess with Polands because there's just no money, and they're not worth enough to justify your time fixing it. But me, I have nothing but time now. Anyway, I'm going to Western Auto and see if they've got the right sprocket. He didn't have the sprocket I needed, so go over here to Western Auto. I'll show you this chainsaw when I get home. Well, I just got done telling you what a neat freak I was, but not when I'm in the middle of a project. That's one I'm working on. I got that as a trade-in on one I sold. I sold one a couple days ago. 70 bucks. I got it for 5 and fixed it. And this is one I just bought for 10. It's Poland's. I would never buy a Poland, but for 10 bucks I'll take a shot at fixing this. And what I need for this is a sprocket. Look how chewed up that is. Unbelievable. And I found out how many parts there are to a clutch. This thing come off there, and that parts went everywhere. Exactly 4. 5 counting the washer. Alrighty, let me, I got to get online and order this sprocket. I'm going to put this new bar on it. It's only a 16-inch bar. This will handle an 18-inch, but I'm just going to go back with a 16. Got a new chain there for it. And since I got it basically for free, I'm probably going to ask 65 or 70 for it. It's a Poland model 295. It's an older model before primer bulbs. And what I did was new fuel line, rebuild the carb, that's all. And oh, and cleaned it up. It was really, really dirty. It was so dirty and covered in oil that I just thought it was junk, and I might be able to use parts off it. And I dropped a little gas in the spark plug in the hole, put the spark plug back in, and I pulled on it, and it cranked up right away and ran until it ran out of gas. I said, well, maybe I'll work on it. And within 30 minutes or so, it was running great. And that's all I need. I've had that for a while, and the chain came with it as a package. So all I'm going to be spending on this is the sprocket, and I think I can get it for about $8 or $9. And then I'll start working on either this or the gigantic Makita. I can't wait to start on that, because I'm hoping that it's not shot. They only gave $10 for that. And if I can get it fixed, I think I can put a 20-inch bar on it. It'll take, this saw will take a 36-inch bar. That's how big that saw is. But they're way too expensive. I think I'm going to put a 20 on it. So I'll invest maybe $75 into this thing, if it's worth putting money into. And I'll ask $300 and I'll take $250. So, good Lord, it's cold out. Alright, let me get to work a little bit. Oh yeah, I just forgot to mention this. This weed eater here, this is an expensive weed eater. It's Echo. Here's a model number. And all it needed was this here. And I bought the fuel lines and this rubber grommet with a filter for $9, and I should have that today. So I'll have this fixed today too. Probably going to ask like 65 or 70 bucks for it. I think I'll ask 65 for it. And now I'm waiting for the part on that weed eater to show up. And that Poland that I just showed you, I poured a little gas in the cylinder, and man, I cranked it over and it popped right off. So I'm going to take it apart, rebuild the carb, put some new lines in it, and put that up for sale. I had just been having real luck with these chainsaws. I'm hoping I have that kind of luck with the Makita, because I sure do want to get that one sold.